I lost, but I absolutely fell in love with volleyball and the street. I think a lot of this woke up to because of how buckets have been for you for people you having your team. We really more people to the ball.
Other streets, yeah.
You can show them off. I bet it's because of the big one. And so the heads up on the floor.
Yeah, get your sleep that night.
Yeah. About how many agenda items?
They take over the center.
Would you?
Just because, yeah, the meetings are very real long.
Yeah,
They had a lot of work.
but you don't remember what I do when, oh God, I can't remember her name, the beautiful lady. She used to keep, she had details. She could, we used to have a chemical. So, you know, for me, I've been there done, so let's do it longer.
Yeah, 3 hours, you can do it. 3 hours.
3 hours now, you
Should
can
be easy.
Okay, thank you.
Can I ask you a question? Are you guys doing an audit excuse me, sorry, I don't know. Are you guys doing an audit at all on the homeless things? I know that Sean and Henry at one point called for that. Is that something that's to be
We did, it's already issued, and it's going to the audit committee next week.
It is?
Yep.
So, okay. Look forward to seeing that.
Go check it out, it's on our
Yeah,
website.
okay, thank you. I'll be sure to look forward to it next week.
Say it right, but not right. She was upset about the giving of the money for parks. And did she go to the
That's the city.
Oh, that's the city. How many pages was your audit? Okay, well, I'll listen closely. I can do a deep review of this. I'm not that interested in go.
All right, good afternoon. I will now reconvene the city council meeting of Tuesday, August 25th, 2026. Clerk, please call the roll.
Thank you, Council President. Councilmember Campbell. Councilmember Woodburn.
Here.
Councilmember Foster.
Here.
Councilmember Von Wilbert. Present. Council President Pro Tem Lee.
Here.
Councilmember Campillo.
Here.
Councilmember Moreno. Present. Councilmember Hilo Rivera. and Council City Attorney Leslie Fitzgerald, Independent Budget Analyst Charles Monica, Council Affairs, myself, their City Clerk, Deanna Fuentes. Thank you, Council President.
All right, thank you, City Clerk. We will start this afternoon with item 55, pulled from the consent agenda this morning and then trailed to this afternoon. Before I ask the City Clerk to introduce item 55, Councilmember Moreno, would you like to make a statement?
Thank you. I'm recusing myself from agenda item 55, Southwest Village Specific Plan, project number PRJ-061479. I have a conflict of interest because the project will have a material financial interest on residential property that I own. I will leave this dais and not participate in the discussion or vote.
All right, thank you, Councilmember Moreno. I'll wait for you to
Get out of here.
chamber.
She can still
We
be
got
back
it.
there.
Clerk, please introduce item 55.
Thank you, Council President. Item 55 is the Southwest Village Specific Plan, project number PRJ-06147991. If you'd like to speak on this item, please submit a speaker slip now or raise your hand by pressing star 9 or the raise your hand icon. It will be 1 minute per person. Thank you, Council President.
All right, thank you. As noted, this item was originally heard by the full council with robust public participation on July 6th of this year during the item's first reading. The item in front of us today is a second reading required under our municipal code. So I will be waiving today's presentation unless any of my colleagues object. Not seeing any. So with that, clerk, please proceed with public comment.
Allegedly, Audra, if you can please come up to the microphone. Alan Cashaw and Elizabeth Hanson here that would like to register their position in favor, but do not wish to speak. Please proceed.
Yes, I think you guys need to recuse yourself more sometimes, Henry, when you guys are gonna be profiting off of projects. It's cool. Yes, this is interesting because you guys have a lawsuit about this, and so it'll be interesting to see what happens with that. And it's confusing when you say this is going to be a complete community, and it seems contradictory to your plan when it's not really near anything. It's in the middle of nowhere. I mean, if we build it, they will come, right? Eventually, people will have public transit, and it will be a complete community. But there's another concern: is Tri-Point Homes is got a consistent pattern of workmanship and structural issues. They have warranty denials and different things like that, and they have also completely sold their properties to investors. So I'm wondering if you have anything in place to make sure that this property isn't going to be sold to an investor and not really be affordable at some point.
Joyce and Audra, if you can please come forward.
Thank you so much. I really struggle with saying these words, but I did fill out a slip that said in opposition. How do you say yes to the good, the bad, and the ugly? Now, that's pretty strong, and I want to tell you the honesty about that. I need to go back and become a child in that community area and find out what it means to learn to be an underserved community, to be somebody that strives for these beautiful projects. I'm looking at it from such a superficial surface. I don't want you to vote yes on sub-item C. I don't like that road, bridge, street going over the parkland. That's my first no-no. So Audra said,
I didn't feel it was more talked about.
I'm historical property of their opinion was about it. I couldn't find that information and all the words being used when these deals are happening. So I'll save the rest for. Thank you.
Thank you. Tony, if you can please unmute.
Position on this item, just because I don't know.
And Councilmember Whitmer.
Participating remotely, now's the time to raise your hand by pressing star 9 or the raise your hand icon. Thank you, Council President.
All right. Thank you for introducing the item. I see staff is settling in, so if you could, when you're ready, introduce yourself to the record and let us know how much time you need for your presentation.
Good afternoon, Council President. Our performance on the city's leased golf property portfolio. I can in about 12 minutes, please.
All right.
As we get started, I want to thank the Economic Development Department, the Parks and Recreation Department, Golf Division, and the Office of the City Treasurer for all the assistance and perspective they provided our team on this audit. First, to give you an overview of our presentation today, our audit had 2 findings. Number 1, the city should collect and report performance data and lease information for its leased golf courses to assess lessee performance and maximize city revenue and public benefit. For example, we found a lease contained an opportunity to increase revenue from a country club the city owns, and EDD has taken action on this, which we will discuss later in our presentation. And number 2, lack of regular site inspections and ongoing holdovers put the city's leased golf course properties at risk of property deterioration, reduced public benefit, and lost financial value. We made 7 recommendations, all of which EDD agreed to implement, and as noted in the management response, EDD stated they recognize the value in enhancing performance monitoring, reporting, and inspections of golf course properties, and has also implementing well. With me here today is Assistant City Auditor Matt Helm and Performance Auditor Kayla Edwards. I also want to recognize Principal Performance Auditor Megan Jaffrey, who is the manager on this project but could not be here to go into details of what we found and recommended, as well as the steps taken since the audit.
Great, thanks, Angie. Good afternoon, Council President, members of Council. I'm Matthew Helm, Assistant City Auditor. Just to add to Andy's thanks, I did want to give special recognition to John Howard and his team in the Parks and Rec Golf Division. We do have golf experts in the city. John is one of them. He kind of gave us the golf course management for dummies tutorial, and his assistance was really valuable throughout. So the reason I bring that up is because leveraging our in-house expertise is sort of part and parcel of some of the findings and recommendations that you'll hear in just a moment here. So largely due to the amount of revenue, public interface, and the overall value at risk given the property sizes throughout the city, golf routinely scores high on our annual risk assessment. This year, we previously conducted an audit of the city-operated golf courses in 2015. I'm pleased to note that the Golf Division has implemented all of those recommendations. But for this particular audit, we focused on the other substantial portion of the city's golf portfolio, specifically those courses owned by the city. The objective was to ensure that the city is maximizing value. Revenues from these courses go to the Golf Enterprise Fund, which supports their operations, and the city knows well that these revenues have proved valuable this year. However, the remaining 8 courses are leased to third-party operators. So 4 courses are owned by the Public Utilities Department. These revenues go to the Water Fund, helping offset ratepayer water bills, for example. In calendar year 24, the leased courses generated $2.1 million for the Water Fund. 4 of the other courses are owned by the Parks and Recs Department, and those revenues go to the city's general fund. In calendar 24, these courses generated about $1.6 million for the city's general. The city operated courses as points of comparison and solicited their $1 million a year. However, the lease agreements do not include standard performance reporting requirements. Leased golf courses publicly through any mechanisms such as the real estate portfolio. The city council and the public are unaware of how the city's leased golf courses are performing and whether there are holders who may not even be aware that we own 11 courses. I didn't prior to start slide. We think it's a reasonable comparison. Other jurisdictions Golf Division collects and publicly reports performance on city-operated golf courses. Public reporting increases transparency. So performance and lease term reporting is essential for spotting trends and revenue opportunities. As shown in the graphic on the slide, we found that the financial return to the city varies significantly across lessees. There's lots of reasons for that. Those leases, higher revenues, that operator's revenues, right, for that property. On the next slides, we'll show you some examples of how performance data can benefit the management of this valuable portfolio. Quickly pursue opportunities to increase the city's share of revenue and adjust where we highlight club annually but pays. This is that makes significantly less in overall revenue, pays more in rent at about 22% of its gross revenue. So that's 22% versus the 5% for the one shown on the slide. In reviewing Fairbank's lease at the time of this audit, we did note there was a provision in the lease that the city can notify the rate we discussed. So as noted in the report, we indicated that if the percentage rents were set at 20%, which again is similar to what is paid at Mission Trails and, for example, Tecolote, we estimate that the city could gain approximately $2.5 million more for the general fund annually. That was a hypothetical at the time based on what the rates that the other courses were paying. So we'll discuss that a little bit more. Can we go to the next slide? So performance reporting can also help identify underperformance and improve transparency. So again, thanks to John Howard and his team for kind of explaining how certain performance indicators can help assess these types of things. On this slide, you see, for example, Kalina Park and Presidio Hills are similar in size, but Kalina had 3 times the rounds played in 2025. We don't make any judgment on it. There could be reasons for that, but it's the type of data that would help inform at least a line of inquiry as to why that might be. If rounds data were consistently reported, the city could identify underperforming courses and inquire to determine potential underlying causes. So why are performance measures important? It's not just data for data's sake. I know auditors like that kind of stuff, but in the case of golf, it really does matter. So collecting and analyzing performance information could also be used by city management and policymakers to determine the highest and best use of leased golf properties, assess whether the public is receiving fair value, and verify the accuracy of revenues reported by lessees. As shown on the exhibit on this slide, we found that city revenue per acre varies widely across city-operated and lessee-operated golf courses. For its 3 city-operated courses, those are the ones you all know of, Mission Bay, Torrey Pines, Balboa, the city received an average of revenue of about $4,736. Without performance reporting, the public and policymakers do not have information about what with the golf division to ensure new leases include performance reporting requirements, and EDD has indicated to us that it's included performance requirements in its new golf course lease agreements that are currently under negotiation. The golf division and EDD should report leased golf performance information in the annual reasons that I just previously indicated. And that a cost reimbursement mechanism for the golf fund should be established for work performed for the leased courses. So to the extent that they're utilizing John and his team, there should be some mechanism for them to be a mechanism for so doing is in process, and as I said, we will verify that process. Just to continue on here, we also recommended that EDDs we have most currently. We're on time a little bit, but I'll now turn over to Kayla to wrap us up and be briefer than I was.
Thanks, Matt. For our second finding, we found that EDD has a goal to inspect all properties in the city's real estate portfolio annually. However, EDD inspects the city's 8 leased golf course properties at an average interval of 3.4 years. The value of golf courses degrades rapidly relative to other property types if they are not properly maintained. Poor maintenance can lead to higher repair costs, weaken the city's position in lease negotiations, and reduce both playability and revenue potential. Consistent inspections help ensure operators continue investing in and maintaining the courses, including when leases are in holdover. EDD uses a general inspection form for all city leased properties, including its golf courses. However, working with the golf division on inspections will help ensure golf-specific property conditions are properly assessed.
At the time of the audit, the city had 4 golf course leases in holdover. These leases are listed here on the slide, with notably one being in holdover for 11 years. One of our recommendations is to report on the lease terms, specifically lease expiration dates, so this will provide more visibility into when leases are expiring. Renewing leases before they expire allows the city to adjust the rent to receive current fair market value. We made one recommendation in finding 2, and EDD should work with the golf division to inspect the city's leased golf course properties at least annually and report on their conditions in the annual golf business plan update. EDD is working with the golf division to fully implement this recommendation. Management agreed to implement all 7 of our recommendations, and with that, this concludes our presentation of this informational item, and we are available for any questions you may have.
All right, thank you for the work presentation this afternoon. With that, please proceed with public comment.
Thank you, Council President. Allegedly Audra, if you can please come up to the microphone. After that will be Joy Sunyata, and then Lori Saldana, if you can please come up to the front row.
I'm going to share something real quick, and I don't care if you stop me, but I just was giving my lunch to a homeless man on the way back, and he gave me this necklace, and I thought it was really special because the one I picked wasn't like this, but I just thought, you know, it always makes a difference when you do something good, because I was still hungry, but I wanted him to eat because I can still get food. Anyway. Like, you guys hate Trump, his name was Ricardo, by the way, which is Richard. It was great. He's just over by the trolley. Like, we are talking about, now I just lost my train of thought, oh my gosh. With the golf funds, it's like you guys are saying isn't what's beneficial for the people, but it's more what's beneficial for the pockets of others. And I just feel like when you guys could make money that would benefit us, that would, you know, that you could spend on things going to, you know, improve our communities, then it's like, absolutely. And that's unfortunate. I wish you guys were, you know, doing what you were there to do. And so hey, that's what you get.
Joyce Sunyata, if you can please come.
I really work hard for our butterflies. Courts should not be heard ever. Why haven't we this up from our beautiful audit department? I've been doing this for
What's the deal? What's the deal? Good at the money.